Okay, is this thing on? Oh, yeah, it is. Hey, dude, how's it going? Well, I'm in my studio today, and check this out. Yep, this is, well, the new setup. This is the new setup and the old setup. Because this is the old grinder, and this is the new grinder. And they're both been new. The old's new, and the new is new. And let me just show you how this thing works. I find a stone and take it home and polish it and hope it shines, and also there's a chicken. Alrighty, I'm trying to get this focused here. Okay, what I did was I got another grinder. Da-da-da-da, right there. And that whole setup I had before, my plan was to get some type of extender made to put two wheels on each side. And that didn't work out because to keep it from being all wobbly, it had to be precisely milled, and it could have been done, but to get it done that way, it would have cost more than buying a second grinder. So that's what I did. And this is what I made. Okay, so you can see it's probably a little bit safer now. I used the shrouds that came with the grinder to hold the regular grinding wheels. And I just cut some, actually it was a piece of stovepipe because it was already circular, and it just made it easier to fit in there. Cut that to extend it a little bit, replaced the bolts, and made it wide enough to fit the wheels. And I just cut this out a little bit, as you can see. Oh, here, let me turn this. Yeah, there we go. This originally came out like this and down, so I just cut this off to give me more room to do bigger pieces. And let's see, I just replaced these bolts with longer bolts and wing nuts. And let me take this off. The watering system I had an idea for, and I'll tell you, this is the best thing you'll ever want to get. I'll get to the watering system here in a minute. But yeah, I get this here. Wing nuts are great. Okay, as you can see, we've got plenty of, actually we got probably enough threads on there to not worry about these things sliding off at all, because that was brought up before. And yeah, I didn't show it. I actually fixed that right away after I did the first video on how I made these, but I didn't say about fixing it. But there's just about 1/16 of an inch of the threads not on here, and I think we're safe now. If anything ever happens, well, we got the guard on there. You can see the guard, the extender, how I put that on, and that's riveted into place. And what I had some grommets, rubber grommets. And hey, these are from Radio Shack. That's how long I've had these things. Okay, and like I was saying about the watering system, you see this tubing. The tubing here is from a drip watering system for greenhouses or for your garden. Okay, and you can get a kit with around 100 feet, 200 feet of this type of tubing for around $20. And I happened to get 2 sets of this at Goodwill for almost nothing, which is pretty awesome. And it had these, here, let me get this. Oh, sure, I can't get it off with one hand. Okay, this was the drip waterer. This end, and I'll tell you why I put these on here. This end here, oh wait, hold on. Yeah, okay. Okay, here's some. This end here, here it is. As you can see, this end is where the drip comes in, and this goes into the pipe or the hose. All right. Now I could have just put a solid hose from yonder down to here. My original idea was this was just going to go in the grommet, like that and drip down on the wheel, but it didn't work real well. So actually I took and pushed the hose down through the grommet, down almost to the edge of the wheel, and that worked absolutely fantastically. I mean, better than good. So I thought, you know what? I'm still going to put these on here. And I'll just connect the hose from there to here with these. But, hey, there's also connectors in here, which I can't find any of. Okay, there must be in the other bag. But they were like this. Okay? They were a connector, just went like that. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so, well, why didn't I use them? Well, because these buggers have those catchers on it that hold the hose really well. You see, the red has the catcher part, where this end doesn't. But when I want to move these, if I want to move these things at all, if I had both hands free, I could just grab a hold of this, and that pulls apart real easy. So I can detach them to move it. And instead of having to, grab a hold up here and constantly pull against those parts that hold the hose really tight, I don't have to do that now. But, the water system runs down and right against the wheel. That's perfect. And you see here, wow, that's bright. Blinded myself. There. This valve system, I better turn this back on. Yeah, that helps. This is a airflow system for a fish tank. And these are very inexpensive, and you can buy them in gangs, 1 to 2 up to like 15 or 18. And I was just going to have, originally one of these on the end of this hose and just move it from piece to piece to piece to piece. And then I come across this thing and it's like, hey, this is even better. So I was able to put it on each, and you can adjust the flow with the valve like that. And it works absolutely beautifully. Choking to death. And of course that runs down into the bucket with the big pump that I got. And with that small hose, it pumps up here this far without any issues whatsoever. So all in all, this whole setup is 10 times better than the other setup. It doesn't take up much space. And this is a boot tray. And this is from Lowe's. I mean, this is the cheapest boot tray they make. And it's almost a perfect size. It fit the table just perfectly. And here's the drain, which is just a sink, the least expensive sink drain that they had. And it comes down here, and I couldn't find a piece of hose I needed to just run into the bucket, so I had an elbow and, didn't have duct tape, so black electrical tape. That works. And even though you got these texturing in there, that's no biggie. Actually, I'm going to get a paintbrush, and after I use a little bit, it helps run the water down in. Oh, I got it all over the wing nuts. But here is the new setup, and I'm going to put this back together, and I can show you how it works, all right? So don't go away. Okay, got that back together. And got my light there, and here's my stand where I put my camera. Of course, but unfortunately, I can't get it the whole way over to this one, so I have to make another one to hold the camera for this one, which won't be a big issue. So let me crank everything up. Okay, pump's turned on, and I'll start with this one. So here's the valve for that one, and like that. Nice little oak plaque I had laying around. So I turn that to open, and look at that. There's the water already. Now I'm going to turn it down just a hair, and I like to give that little help when it starts up. Okay, there's the water spewing out, and you can see I can adjust that with this valve There, it's hardly spewing at all. But there we go. That's just about right. You can see there it is. And these little do-wangies here, there was a lip on the top of the shroud that had a screw hole in it, and I was able to just put that in, and then I can put these right down on there. And as you can see, you know, that runs right down there, and it drains perfectly. I hardly get any splatter. I mean, there's a little bit of mist right about here, but depending on the rock too, you know, I can adjust this valve, and there. I mean, that's plenty of water. Yeah, that's plenty of water right there. If you can see on the wheel itself how much water. Oh yeah, you can. Awesome! But that's the new setup, and that's how it works. The only thing I don't like is, you know, I got a little bit of splatter going on to the thing here. But I might just maybe put a guard here of some sort, some rubber hanging down. But other than that, I can't find too much wrong with it. I mean, the fact that I can adjust all of these to there, you know, from there with that air hose valve, and I mean, it's awesome. This 80 grit wheel, that's the one that I just got. That thing is amazingly rough. Whew. I mean, it'd tear Wolverine's claws right off. And I got that wheel, and this one's just 1200 grit. So we've got the 80 grit, the 320, 600, focus, and 1200 grit. And we are ready to do some serious grinding. Well, polishing, and that is as soon as I get the stand made for Mr. 80 grit wheel there. So now I can take and grind those stones that I couldn't grind before. It's like I was testing it out, and I got this piece of just big old landscape rock, and in about 10 minutes, I was able to take this side down to that good of a shine with the 1200 grit. And that's pretty darn awesome, I think. The size of that too, yeah. That 80 grit wheel, and that thing tears through. I mean, this is some type of quartz too, and it just ate through that like, argh. It was amazing. So, here's the new wheel. Well, here's the new setup. That's what we're going to be doing with next. So, thanks for spending some time with me, and have a good evening waiting for this. Hee hee.